Race for Domestic Violence Prevention, and the website is race4dvp.org. And I'm carrying the logo on the hood of my truck this weekend. Tracy Passantino has started this organization, and it's really about domestic violence prevention and awareness and education. The way that things that I have learned, I don't have any kind of direct contact with this. So for me, it's real common sense. You know, there's things you don't do. But what I'm learning is that, especially people who come from maybe a home where that's a bit of a norm, maybe they don't know that that's common sense and there's things that you don't do. So Race for DVP, we really just want to get awareness to everyone, but specifically, you know, our NASCAR audience, to educate them on what's acceptable, what's not acceptable, and it can be big things and it can be small things. So I think that kind of sums up my purpose, you know, on this and for being here, is just to make sure that you guys can please, you know, give that some awareness. Race4dvp.org.
And Tracy, we'll let you touch on a little bit more.
Well, we started this organization in 2012 and have spent a couple of years doing a lot of research about how we could best serve the most people. And because Jennifer and I have known each other for a long time, racing seemed to be a very natural fit for this because of the volume of fans. So just to put it in perspective, when we have a tent at a track and 60 or 70,000 people come through, then we're creating awareness. When we have materials to hand them, if they need help from a support perspective, whether they're a person like me who supported a family member coming out of a domestic violence situation, or they just need a resource for something, then we will have that information available at the tracks. That's one of our big goals, is to make sure we've got information and resources available to fans. So part of the reason why we're here today is to really talk about the fact that Ben and Jennifer and also Eric McClure will be in Chicago for a VIP meet and greet event. That's going to be held on September 11th. It'll be from 6 to 8 p.m. and it's going to be in the Legacy Club at Chicagoland. So that's a way we can raise funds for the organization to help with some of the marketing efforts and the educational campaigns. We have a partnership with a domestic violence organization in the Chicagoland area called Guardian Angels, and I'm very pleased that we'll be able to support them and provide some funding for them as well.
Ben, can you talk about why you decided to be part of this?
Yeah, I think it's great bringing Race for DVP to racing, just in general, to bring awareness to it. You know, it's an issue out there that definitely needs to be addressed, and I think doing it in this way, in this fashion, and teaming up with these guys is really something cool, and we're kind of excited to go out to Chicago and bring awareness to it out in Chicago out there in a couple weeks. So it's a really good program to be a part of, and something good that you know, we can bring awareness to this issue.
We'll open up to questions. Back there with Wolfgang.
Wolfgang Munzer from Germany, Ranchburg Press. I didn't understand your name. I have a question for the blonde lady on the left.
I'm sorry, I should have introduced. Tracy Passantino.
Yeah, thank you. I just want to ask you if you have also cooperation with the authorities here in America, or just want to bring awareness to the public.
We haven't gone to that place yet where we're working with authorities or any kind of legal entities at this point. Primarily our goal is community outreach, awareness, and education. And the best way for us to do that is to help support the domestic violence agencies that are already in existence, because they do mostly intake, but they need funds to help create awareness in the community. And to, for example, in Kansas City, we have a really great shelter, and they have a program that they take out with teenagers. It's called The Outrage, and the teenagers actually go perform in front of other kids, and it allows kids to start understanding about domestic violence when they're young. So in order to really stop the cycle of domestic violence, we've got to start educating people when they're younger so they understand what it looks like, so they don't become that.
But normally when there's violence, maybe it's different in America. In Europe, you go to the authorities, police, law court, etc., right?
Well, it depends. I mean, so there are people in, and I don't think it's different no matter where you are in the world, but sometimes the police are called. Many times, nobody is called. And this is probably where the problem really exists, is the fact that, so my sister was in this abusive relationship for 18 years, and I had no idea. She never went to the authorities. She was pregnant and had bruises. She never went because she was afraid that nobody would believe her and that her husband would follow through on the threats that he had made to kill her. So people are that terrified to leave the situation. And even when they do go to a shelter and get help, the average number of times they come back to the shelter is 7 before they ever leave their partner. And this is a male and female thing, both. So we were at the campgrounds last night, and I was talking to somebody, and he told me that his wife was abusive to him. So it's not that it's a one gender thing. But authorities certainly have to get involved once a call is made.
If I may just chime in, just kind of listening to the conversation between you two, like she had said in the beginning, they're not directly involved with the authorities. Right now, Race for DDP is at the stage of creating awareness, creating education, and providing resources. On your website, tips, resources, direct links to homeless shelter, or not homeless shelter, sorry, that's my charity. Direct, links to, abuse shelters and stuff like that. So this is very much in its infancy, and is definitely interested in, just like Tracy said, stopping that cycle no matter what it takes.
Okay, we gotta let Jennifer and Ben get out to qualifying. If you've had any other questions, Tracy will be available.
Thank you, everyone. Appreciate it.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you, guys. Good luck. So the one thing I will tell you is that we have some resources for you, and we'll put them in the black thing that spins around back here. There are 3 wheels that show Power and Control wheel. That's from a domestic violence national organization. So there's Power and Control, there's Equality, and then there's an advocacy wheel, so you can kind of see the difference in what those look like. They're also available on our website. We have a press release, we have a little history about the organization, so if you want to pick any of that up, we'll put it in the back. Thank you for letting us be here today.